All right. Yeah. So let me.
This is the problem of dating someone who is emotionally
Is that what you're thinking about?
unavailable. Yeah, because I'm reading August's reaction to leaving Jada, how he feels about the whole thing.
Let's leave that conversation for the show.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
I want it
sure,
fresh.
sure.
I want it fresh. I want them to enjoy the music
That's
for now.
interesting.
Let them
But
enjoy.
these things are
Enjoy the
real.
music for now. Yay. All right. Let's see. What else do I have? Okay. Oh, this is where I posted this? Oh no, I posted it. Oh, interesting. All right. Look, they even sent me an email. Flag to us for review.
Just flag them. Wait, marriage and boot camp and family fiance analysis was flag them?
No, that's the title.
Oh.
I hope they don't do that same thing.
I can't with YouTube. It's too much. It's so stressful. I don't know how people do that.
What's going on, everyone? Yeah, what's going on? They're doing the win lotto. A bunch of people came in like bruh.
Jesus.
Hey, I'm just being real.
You like to downplay yourself too much.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Somebody said, "Oh, play Ola." See, that's what happens. Thank you, CSA.
Greg, what's CSA talking about? Was he here last week?
All right, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Let me see here. Let's go live on now. All right, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Let me see here. What's going on, everyone? All right. Let's see here. All right, I think we're good.
Are we?
Yeah, we should be good. What's going on Instagram? What's going on Facebook, YouTube? We made it back safely. It was a rough one.
It sure was.
These jams not die now. I know. I know. All right, let's get into it. All right, so we're here today. We're talking about a couple of things. Okay. Some celebrity talks today, but everything has to do with marriage. Okay.
Yes.
We did that quite a bit. Let's see here. We used to do that a lot. We used to do like reviews, but in recent times we focus on who is CSA January Works. Who is that? Please let us know who you are if you're somebody we know. Okay. All right. So
Oh,
we're back. We're back. Let's talk about it. So we used to do like shows and stuff, but recent time we do just marriage stuff, right?
yes.
But we only bring it up if we feel like people that are in marriage and relationships can learn from it.
All right.
And of course, it's already in the domain, in the public domain. So today we're going to cover Will Smith and Jada Smith. We're going to cover the new season of Marriage Boot Camp. Hopefully we have time. We're also going to cover a new show. It's like second season, I think. On it's called Family and Fiancé. This is real
family
stuff.
or
Family or Fiancé. This is the real stuff that people deal with, right? So just keep that in mind that we'll be going over a lot of stuff, but everything has to do with marriage. We'll try our best to bring people up to speed. But really, if you want to enjoy our reviews, you should be watching those shows because there's a lot of lessons in them. Marriage Boot Camp and on VH1 and Family or Fiancé on the own network, which means most people probably don't have access to it.
What do you mean?
How many people
OWN
do you
is
know?
not available.
OWN is not available randomly everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So, but we have access to AT&T TV, so we watch it from there.
Right.
All right. So that's what's going on. All right. So somebody is still saying, let's see Lola's face. So identify yourself. How about don't see my wife's face?
Who wants to see my face?
Jesus.
Oh, Hannah is here.
Hi, Anna.
What's up?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about
you.
the first one. We're going to talk about it. We're going to end once Instagram ends 1 hour. It ends. You have to go to Lola and you have to just go to YouTube, search Lola and Ola, and you will see us live there. Okay.
On YouTube.
On YouTube, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're live on YouTube. There are 3 people watching us on YouTube. So.
Okay.
So let's do that. So let's first of all talk about Will Smith literally live right now as we were coming on. I think that's why they actually slapped our first live stream.
Right.
We were playing it back and we're listening to it and we got copyright stricken, flagged, whatever.
From YouTube.
because she just told me about it like literally 2 minutes before we came on. And that's how we got hit with that. So let's talk about Will Smith and Jada. So what happened a few days ago? I said, that guy is probably
making things up. You said that and I said, wait.
Because he has mental health issues. We know that. And I figured, well, that can be from simple as hunger, right? To all the way to extreme situation where people are walking naked on the street. Right? Mental issues can go anywhere from a simple momentary anger to, but she said, well, you never know, anything can happen. I kind of know that.
I know anything can happen.
But for some reason I felt like it doesn't sound believable enough because God forbid, because of the mental issue.
Or because no, not her.
Yeah, people are people. Because of the dude that was narrating this story, he has mental issues, right? Which shouldn't be a stigma. I'm just saying that's the reality of the situation. They can.
So you didn't believe him because of the mental problems?
I didn't believe him. So, but just a few minutes before we came on, good evening, Bratike. Right?
Hey, Bratike.
Just a few minutes before we came on, it's right there. You can watch it on Facebook. Will Smith and Jada talking about it. Yes, she was involved. She used her mouth to say she was involved with this dude, but they were broken up.
Well, she was separated from Will.
They were separated from each other.
House. Yes,
right.
Yes.
And this happened so long ago, meaning maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago.
4.5 years ago.
4.5 years ago. Right. So that's when it happened. All right. So there are a couple of things I want to talk about.
Well, people said that Will Smith gave her. Oh, he said He
claimed he got permission to mess with Jada from Will Smith. That part definitely was not believable, and according to them, no, that never happened. Right? But I guess maybe he knew of their situation, and that's what he's trying to say. And he was around,
like he's cool,
and they're
with
cool,
it.
right?
Yeah.
But the idea of they had to sit down, that's a little weird. Okay, so now they had So there you have it. So you may be hearing that for the first time. It's on Facebook, on their Facebook watch show called The Red Table. But what's your take on this? Because I need to settle my brain around that. Again, that's a big deal because they are such, like, everybody look up to them. People have been watching them for like a year or so, consistently talking about mental health stuff, talking about happiness. They're doing this Red Table talk where they talk about all those kind of stuff, right? And some people were definitely in doubt.
Why?
No, in doubt about if they've already came out a long time ago and said they had issues.
Yeah, they're human
so that
beings.
that wasn't the doubt. That wasn't the doubt. The doubt is particularly this boy. That's the doubt.
I don't know why I'm not so like shaken or surprised by it. When if a woman is not, getting
so Anna
says,
needs
met.
Sorry to cut you out, baby. Anna says open marriage. No, they don't have open marriage. No, that part, it didn't make any sense that they will have open marriage to me. Maybe that's where the conflict was coming for me. They open marriage doesn't work. Their vibe doesn't come off as open marriage.
Well,
maybe before, in recent times.
I think Will just kind of made it very
clear to
He's
us been clear
that it's not an open marriage.
Yeah, he made that clear.
He doesn't want that to
happen.
No,
I need that to be. He was clear on that. And to me, like, I go by people's vibe, and I'm often right when it comes to vibes. I could be wrong, but often when it comes to vibes over time, I could be right. Now, I didn't pay attention to them for years. Oh, okay. So it makes sense that they were going through stuff. It makes sense that it's a successful guy who is narcissistic and wanted to control his wife. All that stuff makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But in recent times, like it's in this last 1 year, it didn't, like the whole August Asena thing. I think I mixed it together with this last 1 year, and that's why it wasn't believable. But if you think about it, if you go back 4 or 5 years ago, it's making a little bit better sense, right? Yeah. But again, the fact that it's also mental issues that he has, that also didn't make it believable for me. But these things happen. And it can happen to anybody. And it's not about how holy you are. It's not about how righteous you are. It's not about your background. We're talking mental issues. We're talking about people feeling free. We're talking about love. We're talking about emotions. We're talking about relationships. It takes a toll on people. That's just the reality of life. And she said at that time, she just wanted to be happy. She had not been happy for a long time. These are very, very common issues. In fact, the most common ones are the ones that are not talking. They're the ones that are not talking, right? So, yeah, I want to hear what you have to say, baby, because...
Well, I feel like Will also stated that he couldn't stand that at that point in time. So keep in mind, these are two people going through it, okay? Yeah. They didn't know what they were doing wrong. They didn't know what was making them not happy, and they chose to separate at that time. Now, when people separate, they go out to the world and say, "Hi, we're separated." They don't do that. So it's so natural that we wouldn't know that they were separated at that time.
Right.
But when August came out and talked about this all is truth because he's so hurt, basically because he's no longer with Jada, right?
Yeah.
And he was the one that broke it up with Jada, by the way. And I'm thinking this is because she decided to move back together with Will Smith, right? Yeah. They tried to work things out.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle that. Now he was in a relationship with someone that wasn't available for him.
Yeah.
And he got shock. He got the shock of his life.
Yeah.
And these things happen. I'm just so I don't want to say I'm happy, but this is a good example for people to know that no one is immune to these things.
Yeah.
When you neglect your spouse, when you're not there for each other, when you're not deliberate about taking care of each other's needs.
Yes. Mentally, emotionally.
I don't care who you are. It will happen to you because most of us, and I will use me as an example, I want to be happy. If I'm not getting happiness from my spouse, I might go out and seek it from another place.
And guess what's going to happen?
And that might be destructive for me.
Well, let's do that. You're right, but maybe not destructive. What's going to happen first is that you will not find happiness from other places because it doesn't come from other people.
You're right about that. But we're always trying to look for that feel good moment.
Yes.
And look and listen to what Jada said in that aspect too. She she just wanted to feel good. She didn't care what it was. Like in our own mind, that instead of using cocaine, it's probably like, you know, saving somebody else, helping somebody else.
Yeah.
Because she claimed she was helping this guy, right? She was helping him, actually helping him.
Yeah.
But then she fell in a relationship with him, which is easy for most people.
You know, when you are mentally, no, let me say mentally, okay? The only person with the mental health issues is August Asina, and it looks like he's seeking help, which is a good thing. Emotionally, I want to talk about emotionally, particularly when you're engaged. Brother Tunde, my bros of life, welcome, bros. All right, so you know,
Hi, Delina.
Yeah, that's Yinka,
okay,
right? I think so. But yeah, so let's talk about it real quick. I want to talk about emotion and the emotional energy that it takes to nurture a relationship. And I like saying relationship for the same reason why these guys, you know, they came out in the last 1 year. They say, oh, they are now life partners. They call themselves life partners and stuff like that. And people try to use that to discredit them by saying they're not really married. They're in open marriage. I'm like, no, I don't go by. Yeah, they're swingers. I don't go by that. I just go by vibes. It takes a lot of energy to be in a swinger type of relationship. There's a lot of energy that goes into that. And you can tell on people's face when they're not connected like that. You can tell on how they interact. And what I've seen in the last 1 year, just watching their show on the Red Table Talk and Will Smith's vibe, it doesn't make any sense. But it makes absolute sense that for them to have the kind of situation they have, any marriage that you know, any relationship that has the kind of situation that they have, that you admire, they've gone through the fire. Okay, diamonds only come from that kind of pressure. You can't have what you call a goals type of relationship, marriage goals, unless you are tested. Life will test you. That's why I wanted to point it out to people. Like, if you're going through a test or anything like that, the other side of it is good. And I'm not saying it must be you have to be with that person. That's not what I'm saying. But if you take control of your emotional, how do I call it? Right? Your emotions. If you take control of your emotions anyway, your life, your relationship with yourself, that's where it starts from. If you take control of that, it looks like relationship goal on the other side. Okay, that's what it would look like, either with that same person or with another person. But if you run away from your situationship because you think happiness comes from other people, you will regret it. Okay, and let's look at this example. And I want to round up the Will Smith and Jada here. Honestly, they deserve a whole episode. You know, but I wanted to get into the, you know, honestly, I'm tempted to just talk about them right now because there's a lot in it, right? The fact that she left and she was she just wanted to be happy, right?
That's a real thing, man.
I want to say this, that the only way that she would know that her happiness belonged with Will Smith is she had to go through that process. She had to go through that situation with August Asina.
It had to happen.
It had to happen. That's because basically what it does is it gives you a frame of reference, right? You can measure one thing against the other.
Absolutely.
I know it's hard. It's terrible to say it that way, but that's just the reality of how we are as human beings.
Yeah.
When you kind of like
you
measure one against
it.
You appreciate what you have because you've experienced something that's like, I need to work on my shit. You know.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
It does.
You know. So the only issue with this is that I can't read your comments. I'm okay. I could read it. I could read it a little bit to the side. Okay. All right. Perfect.
That is so weird.
All right. Yeah. So I think you can see us better now, right? So now please talk about open relationship. You know, is that a real form of love relationship? Can it be considered love? You know, for me, you know, let me pose that so people can see that question. For me, the whole idea of open relationship, you know, just like you were saying a few days ago, nothing is impossible. You know, with God, all things are possible, Bratunde. Right?
That's true.
Right? But here's the thing: we're human beings, and we have jealousy, we have emotions, we are territorial, like we want it to be all mine. We're narcissistic, all of us, to a certain level, right? And for an average human being can't handle that. Okay, and even when you go back in the days when people were marrying multiple wives, there was always a favorite. There was always orologun. How do you say that in English? There's always polygamous like issues, like fights, like consistent fight and unrest in the home and stuff like that. And if anybody comes and says, "Oh, our parents did that and they did that
successfully,"
they're lying. There's something called Olorogun. If you have, go Google Olorogun, right? I don't know if you find something, but it's not fun. Okay, it's not fun. It comes with war. Okay, it comes with war. There's a real issues that comes up when you have to share that level of energy. There's a passionate energy that comes with relationships and marriages and stuff like that. And it's the whole idea of open relationship. I didn't think Will Smith and Jada were doing that. I don't think so. I didn't think that. I think they could have broken up. I think they could have been in a very bad place where they're rich. They don't have to deal with that kind of. If they're not happy, they don't have to deal with that. They can move on. And we're not the one to really come against that. If that's the case, sometimes it's just that toxic, and you have to at least temporarily, go your separate ways. So that's what we have to say about that. This is getting sweeter. Maybe we'll get to Mary Bunka, maybe we won't get to it. But let me just make sure that I'm not missing any question. What do you think about open relationship, babe?
I'm sorry, it's just not for me. It takes too much energy, like you said. Like, I really don't believe in open relationship. Can you be with someone without emotions being attached? I don't believe in that, because like you said, we're human beings, we're territorial. I know I'm territorial. I'm not gonna be in a relationship where I get to put my face to the side. You can sleep wherever you want. No. I mean, it has to be that we're separated or we've decided we're moving on. That's the only way that could happen. But open relationship is not for me. I don't know about. Maybe some people can do it successfully. I don't know. I just don't believe in it.
I think we should digress a little bit further into that. What we're gonna do, if you came here for, I'm changing the titles right now. If you came here for
Married Boot Camp,
Married Boot Camp
is such a good show. You guys should check it out on VH1.
What I'll say is we'll prepare you for it. It's on VH1. Start watching it, because next week we're definitely going to be reviewing it.
There's a lot of lessons on that show. A lot of lessons. It's really good.
So Dele says, okay, we're still live. So why is this an issue? Why is this an issue?
Dele says, what's the opposite to open relationship?
Yes. Okay.
I would say a marriage.
What's the
way of marriage?
No, that's a good question. That's a good question. And let's see. Let me just see something here. That's a good question. I guess it's close to relationship. What it means is that you're not open to the idea of other people coming into the relationship.
Yes.
And engaging in a romantic way, as a relationship. So when we say relationship in terms of open relationship, we're talking romantic relationship, right? When it's closed,
it's between you and your spouse,
like on consent. If you plan on ever doing anything crazy, tell me. If you do anything outside of me, that's called cheating. It's called infidelity, right?
But most people don't ask for permission to cheat. No one does that. And honestly, you shouldn't ask for permission. You should always ask for forgiveness. I believe in the same thing too. But the thing is that when you are in an open relationship, you could do whatever. We already said, hey, anything can happen. We're open to messing with other people. Some people say, oh, there's multiple definitions, by the way. Some people will say, oh, no, it means that you still have to tell me, but I'm open to it. Like, no. No, you're not ready for open relationship if you ever say that. Okay? Like, open relationship, let's see here. Open relationship means that you guys will not hold each other hostage
right?
You're right.
And you can do whatever you want, but you can still be together. Okay. Most human beings' brains are not set up like that. Emotionally, we're not set up that way. The idea of coming to a relationship because we really want to be
committed to something.
We want to be committed to it. Open relationship isn't our thing back home in Africa, considering what our ladies are built up with now. It has nothing to do with women.
Yeah, come on, man.
Okay, it's 2020. We all act the same way in all different type of ways.
We sure do.
However, we all act a little bit different in different types of way. But I agree that there's a little bit of a slight difference between how a man should show up in a relationship and how a woman should show up. But all of that has to do with the dynamic of every unique relationship. There's masculine energy, there is feminine energy, there's a way you're supposed to show up as a man.
All right.
But it still comes down to the person you're with. You need to listen to them and feel on them and see what happens. So again, let's just talk about this. Back to Will Smith and Jada Smith. I didn't think they were in an open relationship, because if they were, they wouldn't be giving so much energy together out into the world as a couple. And when I say energy, I'm talking about value specifically. Like, you can literally listen to 2 or 3 red table talk, unless you have prenuptial mind.
Right.
You already have made up your mind what you think about them, right? If you did that, then you may not get anything from them. But if you go there with a clean heart, you want to learn open mind. Speaking of open, right? Right? You want to go there and just listen. You will learn one thing or two about your mental health, about relationships, about what makes up a relationship, how to have healthy relationship with people. So it's hard for a couple to be together and bring that kind of energy into the world, But if you already have an idea of what you think about them, or you listen to a lot of gossip sites and stuff like that, it may be a little bit harder to believe them in that sense. You probably wouldn't even watch 1 minute. You would think they're full of it, basically. Yeah. So that's that. So what else should we talk about when it comes to these people? That's it? You're done with it?
I'm done with it.
You're done with it?
What else do you want to talk about? They've said their own truth. It's left for the world to take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
It is what it is.
But what do you think about their type of relationship? What do you think about the title life partners? What do you think about that?
I love that. I love the fact that they call each other life partners, because again, let me go back. I think there was a time that when me and you used to get into it.
Yeah.
And I think I said something about being your partner. You're like, my partner, you're my wife. And I was thrown off. Like, what? I am your partner. Why do I'm also your wife, but I'm your partner in everything, in crime, in whatever we decide, that threw me off. Why is it that? And I felt like that came from the fact that you're an African man.
That's what you thought?
Yes.
What do you think today?
Today, you have addressed that and you said we are partners.
Okay.
You acknowledged it. I mean, it's good. Back then, you maybe you were feeling, I don't know. We used to have so many fights about silly things.
That's actually a good point you just brought up.
Especially things that, we talk about a man and a woman, you'll be like, well, you're a woman. Unfortunately,
well, it's different.
It's a man's world.
I would say it's different.
Like,
no, I don't say it's a man's world.
Well, you say a lot of things. Right men are supposed to do this, but women are not supposed to do. And I'm like,
what do you think about that now today?
No, obviously you've grown.
No, not me. What do you think about the idea of a woman and a man, and the way things happen in a relationship is different?
Of course, I believe the woman.
What do you mean, of course? You just said something else 1 minute ago.
No, I believe that a man has a role, a woman has a role in a relationship.
Are they different? Is there such a thing as gender role?
We live in a sensitive world now.
Yeah.
And now in today's world, there are actually men.
And they will not stop me from talking.
There are actually women that actually plays a man's role in the relationship now.
Okay.
They've been what do you call it? It's called masculine energy, when the man forces the woman to take charge of the relationship.
Yep.
She doesn't want to, but she doesn't want the relationship to
But she also doesn't know that she doesn't want to.
No, she doesn't know that she doesn't want to.
Also
but she's trying to save the relationship. So she's forced into this masculine.
She's forced to take control.
And we also, in today's world, we have women that make more money than men. That men cannot actually.
So now,
meet
with
up.
that being
So
said,
we have men that are house husbands and women that are actually the breadwinners. So it's a different world today.
So now, with that being said, do you think it's a new thing that sometimes women take control?
I don't think it's a new thing. I think women naturally, when we're forced, like pushed into the masculine energy, we take control. We're just naturals. We're builders.
Okay, that doesn't make you
a man.
That doesn't make you a man. Do you think that affects the relationship negatively?
It can affect the relationship negatively because a woman flourishes in her own, in her own role. Like a woman, feminine mode, she flourishes. But when she's pushed to be in a man's role, it's almost like a oxymoron.
Okay, so now with that being said, let's go back to the partnership talk.
It can be toxic.
Now let's go back to the partnership talk.
Okay.
Right? To you, what is the definition of partnership?
We do everything together. We make decisions together. We don't have to. I mean, you can still go ahead and be the one to pay the bills and do whatever you do, but we talk about it together.
Okay.
We make the decisions together.
Does that make us partner? Because I could hire you to a job, and I want to hear your opinion. Right?
It's a marriage, 50-50.
But you just call it, we know it's a marriage. We agree on that part. The partnership part is where we're trying to sort out. I don't necessarily disagree with you.
Right.
But I also think it's very important that we talk about this because this becomes a big issue for a lot of people.
Right.
And I'm not all the way saying that a man and wife has to be partner. I'm not all the way saying that. I'm also not saying they shouldn't be partners. Okay. But there's something I'm trying to drive home, which is, first of all, ideologies, titles, all those kind of things. If you become a slave to them, you would destroy your relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we could be saying the same thing, but because of the label of the word, the word itself, or the word, right? The label, that can cause issues.
And it did cause issues back in the days.
All right.
Because I felt like you were belittling me by saying that I'm not your partner. What is wrong with me being your partner? I agreed to be in this relationship.
I'll tell you what I was wrong doing.
That automatically makes me your partner. Me agreeing. For you to ask me, will you marry me? It's not like my father now took me and said, damn Lola, I give you to Ola for life. Yeah. It's different. I accepted you. For me to be part of that negotiation makes me a partner. That's how I feel.
It's the action. It's the action that counts. For me to find myself, there's nothing wrong with a little debate, a discussion with your wife, because clearly that's what we're doing right now.
Right.
But when it's toxic and you're arguing, a man has brought himself down to the level, he's basically in his feminine energy, and that's forcing the woman into masculine energy because now it's me and you against each other. When you have to fight a war as a woman, you're basically acting like a man, right? And then you wonder why there's issues. The issue wasn't the word. It was because we weren't wise enough to see that we're already partners. That's why we're in a space where we would have to argue. So me having to tell you that we're not partners, I was wrong, because that didn't make you feel good, and I wasn't paying attention. Right.
Absolutely.
You having to
you weren't.
You arguing with me.
Right.
That no, we're partners. That's making me, my insecurity was kicking into place. Like, what do you mean? Go and sit down somewhere. We're not partners. I'm the man of the house.
You did say that.
If I knew for sure that I'm the man of the house, why do I need your approval?
Why do you need to say it so exactly?
Why do I need to say it? Right? So it's not necessarily one or the other. You just got to pay attention. People will say, like you said, they're sensitive today. If I said there's masculine, feminine, they're sensitive. Like, what do you mean? Toxic masculinity. Calm down. It's not even about the words. We can change the meaning of the word 50 years from now, and nobody's going to hold us hostage. And life moves on. And we're like, oh, we used to masculine. You didn't know 50 years ago masculine used to mean. Doesn't that happen? It happens. So it's so I don't necessarily today say we're partners or we're not partners. What I'm saying is that if a man does not find out whatever role you're playing in that relationship, if your woman needs you to be a king and you're acting like a punk, you have a problem.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to force her to be the man in the relationship.
Exactly.
How do you know? You start arguing. You get into arguments with a woman. A man that gets the argument with a woman does not know a woman. That's just as simple as that. Because you can't even win the game anyway. You're going to lose.
You know that's right.
Wait, you agree?
Totally. What?
Right.
Totally.
So that's very, very. Let me take out this Will Smith thing because this conversation is going somewhere else. But yeah, we're talking about Will Smith and Jada, you know. But it's the same thing. That's what creates conflict. A conflict can be easily sorted out when people listen to each other, right? Why am I listening? Does that mean I'm a punk when I'm listening to you? When I just take the time to listen to you? Even though, in a second, my emotions are kicking in. I'm human like everybody else. I have insecurities, right? I have low self-esteem sometimes, right? I'm narcissistic sometimes, right?
Oh, very particular.
Particular, right?
Particular in nature.
Right. So we have a problem if I keep going like that. If this was us talking right now and this was negative, right? And you're not listening to me, you're actually trying to say something, right? And you said it and I just kept shutting it down and shutting down. You know, then you have a man who shuts down a woman.
Right.
It's only a matter of time before she gains some energy and say, you know what? I have something to say. She may have to run away from the house to say that to you too, by the way. She might have to go hang out with Og a little bit.
Oh my God. Extra.
No, I mean that's people for you right there.
Yes.
You know, you may have to go hang out with another man before, you know, break a lot of stuff down before you wake up and say, no, you should let her talk. You should also listen to what she has to say, you know. So let's see here. If you have anything to say, please plug it in. Matter of fact,
Uncle today is talking over there.
So Bratine says, I agree with Lola. Any kind of relationship is partnership. By default, it is partnership. If you have to argue if it's partnership or it's not partnership,
right,
you got a problem.
You
the problem is not the fact that it's a partnership or not. It's because you don't listen to each other. And that becomes a real issue. And this same problem shows up in multiple different ways. It doesn't have to be the word partnership. Anytime you feel like you should get into an argument because there's a breakdown, right? And it's okay to start a little debate, but once it's getting toxic, you know when it's toxic. No, I don't have to tell you that, you know. So the first thing, whoever catches themselves first, preferably for me, should be the man, which is why I said it's not about partnership. I need a leader sometimes. I need a leader in that situation sometimes. So if we're doing partnership, no, you should let me talk too.
But what if you have a partner that doesn't engage at all? Like they don't even speak.
We're human beings. I listen. I need to hear the particular situation. If you have a situation like that, you're talking about like what you used to be like when you didn't really speak your mind.
Yeah,
you spoke, but you didn't speak your mind.
It was more of I was a little protective of how you would feel if I said certain things. So I didn't want to hurt your feelings. So I would keep those things in my mind.
Yes.
But what I didn't know was that I was building a lot of resentment, and eventually it blew up. And when it blew up, it was a mess.
Yep.
A whole big mess.
Yep, it comes out as a mess because you're building up. It's like you're bottling something up.
Right.
You know, there's so much pressure to come out bad, you know. But yes, like, is it partnership? Is it not partnership? By default, when we go to the altar and we like, it's partnership, but it has nothing to do with the issues. When I got with you and we decided we want to marry each other, we started dating each other, I didn't ask you, are you okay with this going to be a partnership? People are like, what kind of man is asking that kind of question? Are you a man or what? Or if I start arguing with you, or I always want to win an argument with you, would you say, where's the man in you? Would you say, we are partners? No, at that moment, you forget we're partners. And then you'll be like, no, you're acting like a punk, like a little boy, right? Speaking of a little boy, let me just talk about it right now. Let's just talk about it right now, since we're here now. We are here now. Let's go to, so marriage boot camp, there's this couple.
Okay. We have how many couples? They're like 5.
There are 5 couples, you know, and the first one we should talk about, since we're talking about a little boy in a relationship. A lot of men come into a relationship as little boys.
Maybe they're mama's boys.
Most of us are mama's boys.
So you think you're dealing with your mother
when
you're dealing with. You don't even think you're dealing with your mother, because when you start to argue with a woman, you forget that she's a woman.
Yeah.
But when it comes to certain things, I don't know. I feel like men just take a while to mature, while women are just very matured.
Yeah.
We mature fast.
Yeah.
Just what it is.
And it's because of the offset of it's a man's word thing.
That kind of, I feel like that even makes it worse for men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to address that point, Batunde. I'm going to address that point. Let's go here. So we're talking about this couple right now, Tahiry and Vado, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy, Tahiry, is a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
She's been out there with a lot. Don't let me say out there. She's dated a lot of celebrities, big guys, and stuff like that. So sorry about that, guys. You want to answer him?
Yes.
It just buzzed me up.
1 minute.
So she used to date a bunch of celebrities, and she used to that. So it's got with this guy. The guy is not as popular, I guess. And the situation is that this guy his complaint is this. He's complaining that the kind of love that he's seeing her give to other people, that she's not showing the same thing to him. Okay? She's not showing the same thing to him. All right. And basically, she's complaining. They're in the marriage boot camp show. Like I said, it's VH1 marriage boot camp show. When you watch it, to make a lot of sense. We're going to be reviewing them, so it's better to just catch some of them, right? She's saying he's a little boy. He's acting like a little boy, basically. That's her complaint, right? And a lot of time, women will be trying to tell us something. Like I was just saying, she didn't express herself the way she should have expressed herself. I don't know if I should say she should have, but again, what you don't know is what you don't know, right? But basically, a woman would try to protect our feelings because they don't want if they love you, if they're in a relationship with you, they don't necessarily always want. If they know that you overreact to certain things in the past, they don't necessarily want to say those things again. Especially if you're in the habit of shutting them down, they don't necessarily want to encounter that. Okay, and that's essentially what's going on. But again, she's an alpha female naturally when you've achieved quite a lot, even if it's just attention. Okay, if you have a lot of attention on you, a lot of people admire you, a lot of people look up to you, you have big followership on social media, which is a big thing right now. A woman that will pull out alpha out of a female. And if you're not a man, speaking of today, I'm going to come back to that, right? If you're not a man, when I say a man, I'm talking about a woman referring what a woman will call a man. I didn't create the term. I didn't create a terminology. It is what it is. Thank God she's back because I need her. This is how you know it's a partnership, right? Right? When I say a man or woman, I'm speaking strictly from the standpoint of my wife, what she would consider a man. So we're talking about Vado and Tahiry. Tahiry is complaining that this guy is not a man, it's a boy, it's a male, it's a boy. That's what she's complaining. He's complaining that the attention you give other people, you did not give it to me.
Right.
In your opinion, is it proving that he's a boy by saying that?
Yeah, I told you I would never date a guy like Vado. It looks. First of all, he acts like a child. Like,
what does a child act like?
He's not confident. He's so needy. And he called this girl a thirst bucket. How do you call your woman a thirst bucket?
Oh my God!
Because you have insecurities of your own. It feels like she doesn't give him enough attention. Yeah, how are you a man and you have time? I just don't understand how he has enough time to be complaining of attention.
So a man who calls a woman names,
a thirst bucket,
out of their names,
I wouldn't be with
right.
Sorry.
Does that prove that that's a boy or a man? See, but today I can't really use a woman in this sentence. You see what I'm saying right now, right? It's hard for me because I'm comparing a boy to a man now, right? Is that a boy or a man? If you feel so low, a woman hurts your feelings, your butt hurts so much, you must call her out of her name.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about that for a second.
Real conversation.
Before you feel good about yourself in that moment in time. Right? Is that a man or a boy or a male? Right? There are books on this topic.
She said it herself. She said he's a boy and she needs a man.
Yeah. She said that, right? Yeah, that's what she's complaining about. But he now said, you're showing other men, you show other men, the kind of connection you didn't have with me. A man who is complaining about other connection, first of all, it's your job to woo her. You've done a poor job, clearly, right? And then you're complaining, another feminine energy. People don't like it when I say that. What is feminine energy? You explain it. Maybe you can help me, because again, these words are just words. That's the point I'm trying to convey.
Feminine energy is when a man leaves his masculine mood and start acting like a Mitch.
What's a Mitch?
A Mitch is a male bitch.
Yeah. So if you ever encountered a woman literally say things like act like a man, why you acting? If you ever seen that, at least on TV, that's real. We can't argue with that. That's just as real as it gets. That means women. That's the thing for women. Women want a man.
Someone who's confident.
Even if she's
is self-sustainable. And men are supposed to be. A man is a rock.
Yeah.
And a rock does not move.
Yeah.
So if you're a man and you just move easily because of little things here and there,
because your butt hurt.
Not a rock.
That just hurt your feelings. Or she called you out of your name. So now that hurt your feelings. You forgot you're a king because somebody called you name.
I don't even understand how he's comparing his relationship to our past relationship. That is weird to me. So he's been watching her all of his life, how she relates in other relationships, the love she gives to her other past relationships.
Yeah.
And he's telling her that I don't get what you give those people in our relationship.
Yes.
That is weird to me.
Yes. So to fix that, what I would say any man going through that kind of situation is, first of all, don't worry about any relationship he has with other men. Don't make that a challenge. Turn it to a challenge for yourself.
What was he doing then? He was watching her while see, this guy is not a busy person.
Funny enough, Will Smith just said that. He said, no, I wanted to win you back. That meant,
and I like that.
He said, I wanted to win you back. And you don't lose your status as a king for saying, no, I want her back. You don't, your ego is not easily robbed off because somebody said something to you. Because she said, no, I'm not interested in a relationship with you. I need separation. You caught feelings, so you start crushing her out, right? You're clearly not a man in that moment in time, right? So let's go on to Bratunde here. It says, by the way, as long as we're still referring to each other as a man or a woman, we will always have serious conflicts. Egos does not belong in a healthy relationship. Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Absolutely, 100%, Bratunde.
Yes.
Absolutely. But the egos will show up. It's how you handle it, right? Because we're still human beings, right? She said something like that, but as long as you know how to take 30 seconds, relax. Remember, you're still a king.
If your egos have to show up every time, that shows me how insecure you are. Because you have to work on yourself. Every time, if your ego have to show up every time you're in a argument with, or you're talking to your woman, you're insecure. You need to check yourself.
And what does insecure means? You're not sure of yourself.
You're not sure of yourself. Absolutely.
That is not masculine energy. That's not the energy that a king carry. Right? So it's very simple, but when we're soaked up in our emotions, it's hard to remember these things. These things are harder, they're easier said than done. Because naturally we catch feelings.
Yes.
We catch feelings. She said this. Didn't you hear her say that too? Two, king don't use two. I'm not on the same level. At least not now, because she's arguing. She's arguing with me. I can't afford to be on the same level of argument with her. I need to be stronger now. And vice versa. I just prefer that there's a leader when there's gridlocks, when there's, when there's issues.
It's always sad when a man and a woman do the tit for tat. At least in my opinion, not to say, a man is still a rock. And because you're the rock, you shouldn't be doing tit for tat with your wife. I just feel like it's common these days that you see a lot of men just hitting below the belt, fighting their wives. And I'm like, what happened?
It's very common.
What happened to those days? While we're growing up in Nigeria, they would say that they say it in Yoruba, suru lafin shoko obinrin.
Yeah.
That was said for a reason. A man needs to know how to be patient. Infinite patience.
100%. That's part of the formula. Without patience, you're gonna feel like this. Ego and patience don't live in the same place. right?
It doesn't.
You're going to feel at this. Because again, things are going to be said. Energy are going to fly across the room. That doesn't sit well with you because you're still a human being. But it's about self-control. It's about, even in spite of all that, can I maintain my cool? You don't have to smile like I just did. But I'm just saying, can you maintain your cool in the midst of crisis? Your marriage, your relationship is not going to be tested until you go. It's not tested if you haven't gone through crisis.
Right.
And it's this test that build a solid, well, starting with self. Then you can have healthy relationship across board, including marriage, including at your workplace, including those kind of things, right?
And when we do say that a man should have patience, we're not saying that be a doormat. We're not saying that
absolutely not.
It's an excuse for the woman to be abusive towards her husband.
Yeah.
But when two people are going at each other, nothing meaningful or nothing good can come out of it.
Yeah.
When one person have to be able to stop that thing, whatever is going on. And the only way you can stop that is by actually stopping in that moment.
Yeah.
You have to stop. If you have to disengage.
Yeah.
And that's the way you can stop the fight,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But because we're both in our feelings, we're going for each other's jugular. I remember when we used to argue over third-party issues.
That's all we argued about.
So
we argued about third
meaningless.
parties. We never argued
So
about. It was never an issue between me and you.
Oh my God.
It was toxic as hell, and it was about somebody else entirely.
It was exhausting.
Had nothing to do with us.
And we would just end our nights with stupid arguments, and before you know it, he wants to fix it. No, we can't go to bed angry.
Because
and
I was
raised. I just want to go to bed.
I was raised to not go to bed angry, but that happened to become a negative for us. That's why I said, if you are stuck with ideologies, belief system that's not serving you, you're going to suffer. If you just relax and apply some patience, let her go to sleep if she needs to go to sleep. If she's the one that needs to talk, I prefer that a man is the leader. Listen to her. That's what I prefer. Up to today and up to now,
does help.
Women that are now going through crisis have a tendency to argue with me about that. That's okay. But those that are going through crisis, they have a tendency to say, "You're right. He does not listen."
Yeah, men don't listen. Women don't lie. It's a fact. The only thing women do is exaggerate. Right. We do that because, you know, we're caught up in our shit. But men really do not listen. If every man can listen to his wife.
That's why I'm preaching patience, because that's the opposite of that, right? See, word and opposite is wrong, but it's actually the opposite. You have patience, you're listening, you're trying to find out where she's coming from. Yet the words are not adding up because you're thinking logically. You think you're logical, you're full of shit, by the way. We're all emotions, we're all emotional people, right? But you think you're the one assessing it logically, right? But you're not logical enough if you don't understand psychology. You're not logical enough if you don't understand there's emotions involved. If she's acting outrageous and she's angry and you're arguing with logic, how logical are you? Angry? You're arguing with someone that's angry, right? So that's the Vado feels like he's in a situationship with Tahiry than being in a relationship with her. That's the vibe he gets. That's insecurity, right? A secured man will say, I guess she's not ready. Just let me know when you're ready. Doesn't have to say it in words. He's just confident like that.
Yes, he's not a confident man. And what disappointed me was that there's another girl on the show called Hazel-E, and that one just comes off as jealous. Anyway,
do you want to move to Hazel-E? Are you ready?
Well, Hazel-E went to Vado to tell Vado that his wife is being inappropriate in front of other people's husbands just because Tahiry was wearing a bralette, right?
Yeah.
And Vado in that moment could not say, with all due respect, I don't like when you talk about my woman like that. He just jumped on the side of Hazel-E and fighting his wife over what's appropriate or not. And right in front of other people.
And that happens a lot among regular people where we're just arguing, right? We're arguing about that topic. And your wife is saying, this is the symptom, right? This is the first thing she said. You're taking sides, right? And you didn't get it. No, but I'm saying that doesn't make sense though.
No, because my husband is so good at playing the devil's advocate. And you're like, dude, really? Stop. It's so annoying.
Yeah. I used to play the devil's advocate because that thing, is two fingers. She said she sees one finger. And I said, "But babe,
what if it's 2?
That's actually 2. You're taking sides. How do I do this?" But that's really 2 fingers. Of course, it's not that extreme, but you get the point. I see something else. She sees something else. I see what those people see. In that moment, and say, I should say, "That's interesting. That's what you see." Oh,
and let it go.
No, not let it go. I don't like.
You don't have to agree all the time.
You don't have to be dismissive to your wife. You don't, or to your significant
But
other.
you don't have to agree. We can all agree to disagree.
No, yeah, absolutely. Because you mentioned earlier that we're not saying people should be doormats. No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying actively listen. That person is coming from somewhere. You're the one that can't see it yet. You're the one that just can't see it yet. Maybe you just can't see it, right?
And we women, we tend to see things like way in the future.
Absolutely.
We see things that men don't see about
because we're looking at just stuff in front of us.
Yes.
If there's no evidence, there's no evidence.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And a woman can see way beyond that.
And most times we're right.
Typical women, not all women. Typical women. So before they say, not everybody's like that. No, typical women can see way beyond because they have that brain. They can see multiple things at the same time. They can make up like 50 stories in their head at the same time. And you're just like, can we finish this one? What do I say all the time? Even up to now, I still say it because sometimes I say a little frustrated. I'm like, can we not change topic?
Let's stay.
Right?
Let's stay in
We're
context.
discussing one thing, context. So let's stay in this world right now, and then we'll go to the next layer after we're done. But she has the ability. She's the one with the ability to think 50 million things at the same time. At least that's how I look at it now, because that helps me calm down. She needs to all those layers at the same time. She needs to solve, and then you calm down, and then you do that. But when you have going back to a boy and a man, this lady right here. She's with a 25.
Hazel-E.
She's 40 years old plus or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's with a 25-year-old man. And she's complaining that it's a boy.
Yeah, I guess.
And she had to be educated that you cannot be mad that the 23-year-old man is not 32.
Yes, because you chose
That's all
him.
on you.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that.
I always say it's not about right and wrong. No, none of this stuff is about right and wrong. It's about calm down. You don't know everything. Okay, it's about a lot of listening, a lot of patience, especially whoever claims to be the leader, even if you're a woman. Okay, whoever takes the leadership role in that situation, because you cannot have 2 heads. You can have one neck and one head. I hear that all the time. I hear that as a counter, something like, but neck is not head to do, right? You still got to be one head and one neck. You can't have 2 heads or 2 necks. Can you have 2 necks?
No, you can't.
That's retarded. That's a monster.
Look, this is the way I say it. Me, I never feel the need to fight for the head of the family, because guess what? My job is just as very important as the head of the family. I feel like women who argue that don't know their place.
So why did you come up with the partnership thing then? Why did the partnership?
I think it's the way you talk about certain things. Like, I think we had an argument some time ago, like years ago. It was over 10 years ago.
Right.
And I don't know what I was telling you. You were like, but I pay the bills in this house. And I'm like, and I was like, dude, you would have paid the bills in this house if I wasn't here. Why is that an issue? And you were
the
like,
funny thing, no, you didn't say it that way. If you said it that way, maybe I will calm down. You didn't use your words properly.
Baby, you don't come. Then you were I think you were in your own world, basically.
No, you didn't say, but I help you. You weren't that logical. You just didn't.
No. I told you that
you fought me.
Wouldn't you pay your bills if I wasn't here?
I think you said that.
I always said that.
And I
always said that. Like, why are you telling me you pay the bills?
And I said, no, he didn't. Yes, I did.
But my thing then was that every time you say that, you act like, like I don't have other ways that I contribute to the family. It doesn't have to be financial, but I put my all into
and this is
family.
why it's not about right and wrong. So let me break that down a little bit further.
Yeah.
Where she was coming from was something completely has nothing to do with bills. Zero. It was something you had to express yourself.
Something else.
It was something else.
I don't remember.
And my answer was not manly enough. And if it's not manly enough, right, what I do is I tend to dig deeper hole for myself by saying, Can't you see I'm a man? Again, I need approval at that time.
I'm the head of this family.
Right?
Like,
I needed approval.
Okay.
I needed her to see that for everything I did for you. And so I would say all of these wrong things, layers upon layers of different wrong things, basically digging deeper hole for myself. Right? And that's what happens when you're not sure of yourself. When you don't have confidence as a leader of a household, of a relationship, it's even worse. But even by the way, I'm attracted to confidence in a woman. And most men are, more than the looks. If you're a confident woman, you got it. You like, that's it. You capture a man if you want, right? But that doesn't mean a woman doesn't want to just lay on the shoulder sometimes and be a woman. Right? So it's a man's job to know the difference between those things. So anyway, back then I would dig deeper and deeper and deeper holes for myself because I needed approval. I needed for you to see. And then so I would say it's not like I didn't agree that you're my wife. Hey, by the way, we got less than 2 minutes. It's best. I'm not going to come back on Instagram. Okay. Just go to lolaandola.com/live and join us there for the rest of the session. Okay. So we got less than 2 minutes because Instagram only allows 1 hour and it's a pain to be trying to restart all over again. So thank you so much for hanging out if you can't make it, but I look forward to having you. As you can see, it's getting juicy. So you should come lolaandola.com/live and it will take you and you click the live one. There's a series of video and then make sure you subscribe when you get there too. All right. So basically I kept arguing the idea that I have to get into an argument with you. That means I'm seeking approval. And on the flip side, in a good way, somewhat of a good way, it's me being best friends with you. And this is one of the mistakes that men make, right? They are best friends with their wife for real, but they turn the wife to a homie.
To a body. I'm not your body, boy.
It's a common mistake.
Come on,
it's
man.
extremely common. That's why somebody will still say, why can't I just argue? We're like friends. Dude, you missed it. You missed it. And that's why relationships, like Judge Toddler said, it's for grown folks.
It is.
It's for grown folks.
Not easy.
Because it's not math. It's not 1 × 2 = 2. Or 1 + 1 = 2. Sometimes 1 + 1 = -5. And you'll be confused because you're looking at everything. You're looking for evidence. You're looking for that. You ever find I did that? What you said didn't make any sense. You tell a woman what she said didn't make any sense.
Or you say something and you say, does that make sense? And I'm like,
oh, well, that was when I started being a coach. That was in 2009 and onwards. But you
I took it literally.
Yeah. No, that one you mistook that. I didn't mean to diminish you by saying, does that make sense?
Right.
I actually was trying to get I was trying to get.
You wanted to be sure if I was hearing what you were saying. Did I?
But when I literally said, I've said that didn't make any sense. What you said didn't make any sense. I was extremely angry when I said that, and that's never good. Because think about it: if you tell a woman that didn't make any sense, what do you make her feel like?
Like crap.
Okay, what is going to be our response? Now I want to make sense.
Myself.
No. Now I want to make sense. Is that what she's going to say? She's not going to say that. It's going to get worse. You just give her BS. She's going to multiply it for you because we also learned that anything you give a woman, she will multiply it for you.
Only natural.
If you give her hell, she will multiply it for you. You give her goodness, she'll multiply it for you. So with that being said, so we're back here now. Hopefully you made it here. If you made it here from Instagram, you can let us know that you're hanging out with us. So that's what was going on with that. So again, partnership, back to the old partnership talk. Right. Now back to I feed the family. I take care of. If you choose to do that, good. If you're not doing that, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're insecure about that, everything is going to be wrong with that. Like
so
if
you have to own your position. You have to be confident of the part you play in the family. You don't have to, because if you don't feel secured in yourself, then you'll be lashing out at your partner. Whatever they say is just gonna eat a nerve because you don't feel full of yourself. Like, you know what? I'm good where I'm at. I'm happy with what I'm doing. So so I'm looking at somebody post the Will and Jada thing, and my brother,
Who goes, this is the worst conversation I've ever seen, and she didn't own up to it. 100.
How else is she supposed to own up? She owned up to it.
I don't know what he's looking for in terms of ownership.
She said relationship. She said it.
Yeah.
People are just they are attracted to negativity. That's the problem.
No, it's a good point. It's good that he said that, because now I want to make that a point of lesson. Okay. When you think of relationship and marriages as right and wrong, that's what happens. That's when it's time to own up to something. Right. Let me post this. If you want to join us, by the way, I'm going to post a link right now. So you can join us if you want to.
You can come in and talk.
You can call in and talk. I'm just going to post it right now. We got about another 40 minutes for this session.
Yes. Because I got to do my power walking.
When you I didn't mean that. Sorry, I just posted the link in the chat area. So let's go with this one. Inka says, when guys don't want to hear the truth, that's when women don't make sense.
Abio, I mean,
no, that's coming from a place that the guy deliberately doesn't want to hear the truth. He just can't hear it. There's a difference between abilities, right? There's a difference between that, because when you think of it as weakness versus wickedness, okay,
I get what you're saying.
When you think of it as weakness versus wickedness, if you know how to separate the two, right? If it's wickedness, then he's just not trying to hear you. He's just being mean about it. And yes, it could be angry, where it's gotten to a place where it's just being mean, right? But that's still not wickedness. That's him being weak. That's less strength.
Right.
When a person is angry, they go off the handles, right? But when it's a weakness, or you see it as a weakness, then you now see an opportunity like, let me help him. And helping him doesn't mean you talk him down, doesn't mean you talk down on him, doesn't mean you remind him of how full of it is he is. Because again, that's not, remember, he's weak emotionally, so he's also always going to take that and build more resentment or fight back again, because it's going to take it as an attack. So you want to be aware of not saying anything that will come off as an attack on somebody who's angry.
So you have to be sensitive, basically.
You have to be sensitive. And I prefer that a man is the one who is leading that position. I just prefer that. The reason why I prefer that is because women prefer that. A woman doesn't necessarily want to be in a position where it's helping you fight for the relationship. So back to that comment on Will Smith and Jada. Does she need to own up to anything? She's an adult who decided to separate from her husband and decided to.
She doesn't owe the world anything.
No, zero. She didn't, and Will Smith acknowledged that in that conversation.
He sure did.
Like, no, the only person that she needed to ask permission from at that time
was herself.
Let me even give you a shocker. Some people are not going to like this. Even if she was cheating and she was in infidelity, she's still an adult, and you have the right to decide if you want to stay in it
the
or
relationship.
not.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Right. If somebody broke your trust, right? You have the right to say, you broke my trust. I'm not going to be comfortable. I'm
exactly.
Right. It's not right and wrong. It could be right for you and wrong for you. Keep in mind, it's for you. What works for you don't necessarily work for other people.
Yes.
And vice versa, right? And when you lead with that mindset, that's why, because that mindset that she's not owning up to anything, it controls a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's the controlling spirit.
That mindset controls a lot of dynamics in your relationship. When we say people have to love in a way that the other person feels free, right?
So unconditional love.
Yeah, like love in a way that you're not holding that person on stage. And I understand sometimes it's hard to see.
It is hard.
We're committed to each other. You should just do the right thing.
But you can't control you can't control another human being, and people need to stop trying to control your spouse. It's not gonna work for you. It's only gonna, even if that person is allowing you to control them in that moment, it's just temporarily. And before you know it, they're gonna lash back at you, and the whole thing will dabaru. So it doesn't make any sense. I don't think anything positive come out from trying to control another human being, even including our children.
Because when you're trying to control, to control another human being, right? What you do with children is you guide them. That's what you do. Not
absolutely,
control.
We're guiding.
Even when you try to control, it's a sense of lack of control. you don't have control of yourself.
That is so true.
And that's why you're trying to control. You lost control, and then you're trying to control.
That's true.
And then it works against you because again, you're making things worse.
Yeah.
So what's the opposite? What would you do instead of this idea of control? Well, it's a relationship, even if it's with your child, right? It's a relationship, and much more important with a marriage, because clearly you value this commitment thing and you want it to last, right? So if you value it, just keep in mind they're still human beings.
Yeah.
Right? And they have weaknesses. And yes, they will do quote unquote the wrong thing sometimes, right? Sometimes that wrong thing is against you directly. Sometimes it feels like it's against you. Sometimes it's against the ideologies, the principles you've laid out as the gospel truth for yourself. And maybe
but
they would
I
not
feel
even
like
reach that way.
sometimes people forget that people grow.
Right.
So we marry our spouse a certain way, and then we expect them to stay that way. It's impossible. Over time, they evolve. You evolve.
The right word is evolve, because growth could go in the other direction.
Yeah.
Right, in the wrong direction. It's still evolving. Why are they evolving? Well, you changed, dude. She's human, and not only did she change, the world changed. We started using technology, and we don't use what do you call it? The dial-tone thing anymore, right? We now carry phones around. Things have changed. Like we're literally talking to each other live. We didn't have to go buy. We didn't have to go buy $50,000 worth of airtime on TV station, right? Everything changes, and when you don't have room for that in your brain, this is not just marriage. It's everything.
It's everything,
right? When you don't have room for that in your brain, you will suffer. And then you will call it's somebody else's fault. But it's actually your expectation. Your expectation is off.
It is off.
Your expectation on other human beings is off. Does that give people license to do wrong? No. What it does is that it allows them to feel at peace with you, and they will want to do right by you all the time because they experience peace with you.
Right.
People remember, you were giving me that quote yesterday. People remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
Not what you say. You see, controlling people always think what they say is going to make a difference. No, it's the vibes that people experience around you. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's about action. You know, it's about action. It's about the actions people are taking around you, and how you act around people does influence them. That's reality. So one of the issues we run into is, I said, somebody else is influencing you.
Yes.
Here's the problem with that. First of all, it's not about right and wrong. I wasn't necessarily wrong. But me saying that to her, what does that make her want to do?
Or you say, oh, you're naive. Like,
naive.
Excuse me? I mean,
what did I make you want to do when I say that to you? That's what a leader should always do. You should think about the effect of your words, your actions, the after effect of it before you do it. And you should do that more so because a lot of times you won't. But you should keep that at the back of your mind. You should do it.
Yes,
a lot of time you won't. A lot of time you fail at it. But be aware that you should do that. Because if you don't do that, you will fail at relationships. It's not just about this person you're with today. This is about you.
Right.
It comes down to you. Ratunde, thanks for your comments. I have always talked about freedom in relationship.
Yes.
It is very critical. Yeah, Ratunde actually had a episode number 005. You guys go watch that. We did talk about that. It's like both parties have nuclear weapon. That's when the respect will be mutual and reciprocated. Yes, yes. This issue with trust, respect, submission. People have these issues because they don't realize it's earned.
Yeah. They just want it.
They just want it.
They demand it. I'm the man. You should respect me. Bro.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. You have to respect yourself to be respected.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes. That's a good point. We're not saying you have to respect them because we never asked you to be a doormat. We're saying you have to respect yourself. If you engage in certain type of argument or fight or conflict, right, in a certain manner, that will, if you engage in a way that you have no respect for yourself, that will create the direct effect of lack of respect for you, either from your wife or your husband. It will come right back at you because, again, how you see yourself is how they're going to see you.
That's right.
Because your energy, the way you act, is going to show how you see yourself. If you respect yourself, if they're saying something that doesn't make sense, you're like, interesting. That's how you see that?
Now, some people just have the knee-jerk reaction to argue.
Well, if you
take everything your spouse is saying as an attack.
Yeah.
It's not gonna help.
If that's like again, we're talking about she's not owning up to anything. She said we were broken up. I got into an entanglement with somebody. That was him. He was also mentally sick. We were not together. I needed happiness. I had not felt happy
good
for a long time.
Okay.
She had not felt good for a long time. Do you know what it feels like? It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. You know what it feels like to feel wanted? Like it doesn't matter who you are. If you just feel wanted, if you don't feel wanted in your relationship, I don't care how much commitment, how many pastors prayed for you.
How confident you are. It ain't gonna work.
Like if you don't feel confidence is opposite to feeling wanted. You won't have confidence if you don't feel wanted.
Right? It will kill your confidence if you don't feel wanted.
If you don't feel wanted, what's gonna happen is that your mind will start fantasizing about what that would look like. You start trying to do things. So am I saying you should put energy in making your wife feel wanted? Yeah, if you know how to, you should.
You should want to do that.
You should make them feel special.
You should feel your spouses feel special.
Yes, you absolutely should do that. And maybe they're not doing anything right now that make you feel like, okay, there's got to be something. Or there's something they did because you married that person. There's something they did once upon a time. Maybe you should remind them, when you used to do this, I so much love when you used to do that. What it does to a human brain, not man or woman, right? What it does to a human brain is that they simply just want to do more of it. Okay. Now, if you tell them everything they're doing wrong, and that's what you want to dwell on,
which is what most people would do.
It's a natural reaction. Right.
Tackle what you do wrong.
Yes, that's why natural doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just how I feel. Well, I know how you feel. If you want that relationship, however, okay, I know how you feel. It's probably terrible if you're going through crisis, right? But you're gonna have to gain control over that at some point, right? And lead the direction that you want your marriage to go or your relationship to go, because it's all in your power still.
Yes.
But if you're weak,
it's not over until it's over.
Yeah.
Best believe it.
Yeah. So that was over, and they needed it to be over for them to see.
They actually thought they would never come back together. Do you remember when Will said, he said, I can't even believe
I didn't know I would ever talk to you again. Yeah.
That was how bad it was.
That was how bad it was. Yeah. And neither of them thought that. You know, they didn't talk about who was more wanted it, but at some point, somebody who is healthy would give up, even if they were fighting. They said, I don't want to fight for that. It's also okay, we go our separate ways, right? And they were in that space. And sometimes that's where you need to be at.
And sometimes that's self-respect. Knowing that, this person is abusing me. It could be that person is cheating on you.
Yep.
You know what? I don't want to be someone that someone thinks is okay to cheat on.
Yep.
You respect yourself and excuse yourself out of the relationship.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. Oh, we already talked about this one a little bit. Well, she's married to a young man,
a 25-year-old.
You know, and she
expects him to act like
a 52-year-old man. Yeah. It's not gonna happen. You gotta know what you're bought into. That. Yeah. Yeah. And her, she's worried if he's there for clout, just for the attention, right? Well, the thing is that we all worry about something.
If you're worried about that and you're already speaking it out, the universe will receive it.
Yes, because your energy, what you do will basically follow your energy, right? So that's that. For them, I don't know. He's gonna have to do extra work than he needs to do at his age. The 25-year-old man brain is not fully grown.
The cortex does not develop properly until you're 26.
It's not done.
Okay.
Okay. And he doesn't know what he doesn't know. All right. Yes. So he's gonna have to work harder to keep her, because she also attracts a lot of energy that some would consider negative because celebrity,
and she has a lot of insecurities as well.
She has her own insecurities too, you know. So
I mean, checking another man's wife because of what they're wearing, that's insecurity. For you to actually speak
she showed it right there on the show.
You should not care what anyone is wearing. When a woman is telling another woman, why would you wear this? I always look at them funny, like, this is a grown person. You don't get to control
they're saying more about themselves.
Exactly. You have some insecurity that you need to tackle.
Yeah. All right. So please help us share as you continue to watch. If you're enjoying this session, support share with the rest of the world. Thank you. let's talk about this one. So we have Kurupt here. Kurupt is it's a
legendary
rapper in groups with Snoop Dogg, Nick Dogg, and all those West Coast people, right? And Kurupt is the really black one that you can't really see his face. He's there. I'm sure it's like you can't really see, but he's there, right?
And then he's wearing all black too. Right. That's hilarious.
And then we have Toni. That's the wife. Is the wife?
I think they're in a relationship.
Okay.
They've been in a relationship for 3 years.
Basically, he's lost control of himself. He's always drinking. He doesn't eat.
He's an alcoholic.
It's an alcohol. Well, he didn't admit that.
He is an alcoholic. He's just not admitting it.
Right.
You eat drinks to the point that he doesn't eat in 4 days, but just keep drinking. And this is not just regular drink. This is brown liquor. I'm sorry. I don't have to be a
brown bag,
to
brown
let you
liquor.
Know that
so what's wrong with her? You tell us what's wrong with her. Because people, they all bring something to the table. What's wrong with her?
I see her as someone that is trying to. She's the Captain Save-A-Hole. You know, when you see someone that is damaged and you just want to fix them, she's a fixer. And now she's drained from it, that she's unhappy with herself. And she feels stuck in the relationship. Right. Because obviously, if she doesn't feel stuck, she should just move away from this guy.
And he kept saying that. He kept saying, if you want to leave, leave. Because she keeps
especially if someone is telling you that. For you to still stay there and take that shows that you have no self-respect.
So let's bring that back.
Yeah,
you just said it. I was going to say, let's bring it down to GPS. She lacks the S, self-respect.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Sometimes it takes people time
to get it.
To get to a place where they say, I can't tolerate.
They give it all.
And sometimes it's when you check out and you have self-respect for yourself that will make that person wake up.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So some people say, you encourage that people should leave their marriage and relationship? We don't encourage nothing. We just ask people to have self-respect, self-love, okay? Have a personal purpose in life that has nothing to do with your spouse, okay? Just for those days that you're going to need to feel secure in yourself. You're going to want to feel whole, right? Yeah. You want to have a personal purpose that you identify as, this is my personal. It doesn't have to be other people's personal purpose. Some people may look at your personal purpose and they say it's not enough. It's not up to them.
Nobody gets to determine that. It's up to you to know what your personal purpose in life is.
Yes. So your personal purpose is something that you enjoy doing that does not take away from your self-respect, encourages self-development, self-improvement, that add to your self-worthiness as a human being on earth. Like with or without your kids, you're solid.
Oh, yeah.
Much less husband, right? By the way, the husband comes before the kids. Your spouse comes before the kids.
Yes, they do.
Throw that in real quick.
They do.
All right.
Those days that your kids are going to fly away from the nest, you'll be left with your spouse.
Right.
So you might as well just invest in your relationship and build it so you can enjoy it.
Right. Now, this guy, he's not himself.
No, he's not.
Personal purpose out the window.
What?
Right. So if you're going to get with somebody, you want them to be 100%.
Yes.
Meaning they have a sense of higher self, right? It's not just this physical body. I have a soul.
Yeah.
I can understand the concept of unconditional love, even if it's your own way, right? What do you call it? Personal purpose, something that drives, that makes them wake, that make them feel excited about waking up every day.
Yes.
How are you gonna feel excited about waking up every day if you're drinking all day yesterday?
Yeah.
And yesterday was a Tuesday, right?
You're drinking every day.
You know, some people say, "Oh, some people live that lifestyle."
And the more you drink, no. I understand people saying you drink socially. I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. But when someone drinks to stupor that they start abusing everything around them, that's not healthy. That's not a lifestyle.
And a simple evidence you can look at.
Yeah.
A simple evidence you can look at is the energy around this person.
In fact, she doesn't need to be with him until he has definitely fixed himself.
Yeah.
Right now, he doesn't need a relationship. He needs to go work on himself. And working on himself, he will need to go check in a rehab first and make sure he's taken care of before he even has anything to give to a person. Yep,
exactly. So, so he's not capable.
No, he's not capable. And he clearly said that.
Yeah, he's not capable. And he said, leave if you want to leave. Somehow they're the one that also tell the truth.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
In a very weird, twisted way.
They throw it in your face. You feel stupid. Like, oh my God.
And then they will come back. He'll come back and
and
beg
say
a
I'm
little
sorry,
bit.
and
But he knows it's too weak. He can't even have the mind to think, And her, if she doesn't gain some self-respect, it's gonna be a rough road. And let's talk about this ones. This is
what's that guy's name?
This is Will and Shanda, right?
Okay, yeah.
Will and Shanda. So Will and Shanda, they've cheated on each other. Infidelity issues. He started cheating as soon as they got married 12 years ago.
A month after they got married, he's been cheating. It's
More
been a cheater
importantly,
from the onset.
Yeah, more importantly, resentment.
Yes.
Right? Because she's still with him. I always tell people the cheating, you can make it an issue more than it is. It's not really that much of a big deal.
She still wants him. She still wants to be accepted by him.
Yes. Yes. And she cheated too. And he still wants her too. But they're struggling. What they're struggling with is not the cheating, because they would have been gone. Most people don't struggle with that either. The issue is the emotional energy in that relationship. None of them is given to each other, right? This one has resentment that lasts as long as 12 years ago.
And he claims that her attitude is nasty and that she doesn't respect him.
Yes. So attitude nasty, respect, trust, submission, right? All those things, right? Those things are earned.
Yeah. You can't submit to a man that you don't respect or trust.
Yeah. Those things are earned. Those things are earned. So just keep that in mind.
Oh, Dalina said, I agree with Lola.
Toni is a fixer. Yeah.
Toni is a fixer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good for her.
Yeah. The only thing you should be fixing in a relationship is you.
Yeah.
Make sure you bring 100%.
Yeah.
Try to fix the other person. It's a losing battle.
Yeah, it is.
If they're not fixing themselves, like, you're just gonna get drained. You're just human. You're just a regular human like everybody else.
You'll be drained and you give up eventually. I agree.
Yeah. So her, this guy also will go all night, basically act like the boys, and they'll be calling him.
He's a married man acting like a single man.
Yeah.
And I have a problem with men that act that way, because when you act that way, it shows your lack of commitment.
Let's not be naive. Look at how this guy is dressed. Okay.
What does his dressing have to do? He's an artist.
I'll explain.
He's an artist.
I'm
gonna give him.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. I was going there.
Come on, man. Let's not attack the outfit.
Now, the glass is shades inside the room. I'm sure there's big lights in the room, though. Because of they're shooting something, right? But let's not be naive. A lot of these guys come on this show because they want attention for their artistic work.
Yeah.
They want attention for their brand.
For some clout.
They're entertainers.
They're getting paid.
They're getting paid. They're getting millions upon millions of attention.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the beauty about that. The real life issues that people go through still come out regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dr. Ish is that good. Mrs. George Toddler is that good.
Yeah.
Even if they try to deceive them sometimes, the people will tell the truth eventually.
They have to.
The energy will come out. You can see right through people. That's why it's not worth it. Just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Because we have incredible radar for bullshit. We can see it. Right? So, I want, right now, this lifestyle outside of this show, where I was going was his lifestyle. He will probably also blame it on, the lifestyle of what we do. We're entertainers.
That's why he can't be committed.
Well, it's real.
It doesn't have to be married.
But isn't it real?
They have
issues. They have issues
with
commitment. Entertainers have issues with commitment
and staying
in marriage and stuff like that.
But again, cheating is a choice for anyone that engages in it. You had the opportunity to make that choice even right before you did it. Know that you're about to.
Right.
Something's still telling you what you're about to do is wrong.
Here's the problem with what you just said.
Yeah.
It's absolutely correct. It's right. But they both cheated.
Yeah, they both cheated on. Yeah. You notice she said she cheated on him because he cheated on her. And she said she didn't even feel good after the fact. Right. That is real.
Exactly. She's saying we can't even say that. Like, you can't say because you cheated, that's how I cheated.
Yeah. And she took accountability.
But it's
I love her for that.
It's also testament to the fact that that he has nothing to do with the issue they're going through presently.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're using it
Mm-hmm.
because they have resentment against each other. He cheated. He did that. He did that. That's not the real issue.
Yeah.
It's really about she doesn't feel safe in this relationship, but neither does she feel safe if she leaves because she would have left, right?
Exactly.
He doesn't feel safe, but he also needs to learn something about being a man because he was crying, which means he was crying when they were talking about the daughter and how he's treating his wife and stuff, which means there's something there. He just doesn't know. And that's something I want women to take away. Sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of time, men just don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
They just don't have the ability to make you feel safe.
I agree.
If you even
they're not prepared for it.
They're not prepared. Even to the extent that you could come to me and use the word. Remember what I told you about words. You come to me and say, "I don't feel safe," and I still don't get what you're saying.
Like, what the hell does she mean?
You don't feel safe. I went to the door. I lock the door every day.
What do you mean?
You don't lock the door.
Safe?
I go check the back door every day. That's what they say because they're talking the evidence, physical stuff. Right? What does it mean for a woman to feel safe? It's deep. It's probably going to go beyond this session, but you probably should listen. The best place to start with is to listen. You can even ask her, like, tell me, what will make you feel safe? What does it mean for you to feel safe? What does that look like? And when you ask that, don't ask that so that you already have a response behind your head because your wife is unique. She's not the same as the girl you saw on TV or your friend's wife. You can't compare. It's not the same thing. But her, that's the person you married. There's something she's going to tell you, not just today, because you're going to try it today and it's not going to work tomorrow. You're going to say, it didn't work. There's no way I can satisfy it. No. A very important part of that formula is patience.
Yes. Thank you for saying that.
It's over time. Over time. Have those conversations. Let her say everything she wants to say onto the point where she says, what do you have to say about this? Interesting. I was just hearing what you had to say. I guess that you want this. You want to repeat everything she said back to her so you can prove to yourself, not even to her, that you actually heard her. You were listening. I'm telling you, if you make a woman feel heard, you can penetrate everywhere, physically and emotionally. Okay, that's really all you have to do. Is that simple. But because we're also emotional beings, men don't like to believe that they're emotional beings.
They don't.
Even when you tell them they're emotional, they catch additional feelings too.
Yes.
On that.
Or tell a man is sensitive. Right. Oh my God.
And then he catches feelings.
It's like,
right.
It's okay.
And then you prove that you're not sensitive. Right. So those are some of the things that's going to. But if you just do that, it's a lot of work because remember, you're coming from a place where it's not necessarily natural for you to just listen indefinitely.
Right.
And I'm not saying listen indefinitely and being a doormat. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you listen to a woman, she doesn't want you to be a doormat. She will remind you, no, what do you have to say about this? I want to hear what you have to say. She's exhausted herself. And if she wants to hear what you have to say, she's not going anywhere. Now she's chasing you. And the person who chases you is not going anywhere.
That's right.
So that's even if you have fear, whatever your insecurities are, and everything I just said, because I'm hearing somebody saying, date the woman too, though. Keep it balanced.
That is so true. That is.
I hear that person saying that right now. I can hear it in my spirit.
So true.
I can hear it in my spirit right now, right? Yeah. Vice versa. But if you assume the position of leadership in your situationship, right, you will enjoy it. And I said situation for a reason. Meaning you don't have to be married. You don't have to be all those titles.
You don't have to be.
You don't have to have gone to court. It's the same rules. Okay. And I dare call it rules. It's a rule because you're going to apply this in your professional life. You're going to apply this in everywhere. You have to learn how to listen because you will get everything you want. You have to give people what they want. Now that's going to create an issue. You got to give people what they want. Seemingly what they want. Sometimes they just want to tell you what they want. You say, just by listening to them, they already feel like they got what they want. Just by listening.
I know we women, we want to be heard. Yeah. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Speaking of want to be heard, women want to be heard. The man wants to feel like the hero. So if you're a doer, you're a fixer, you're the one that wants to make sure everything is all together. There's nothing wrong with holding. I'm talking about as a woman right now. There's nothing wrong with holding the home together, right? But you should learn something about bringing your man along without making him feel less, right? And then empowering him. Because if you do that too long and it's not stepping up, you will get tired.
Yes.
Okay, it will drain you.
Yes.
And you're human like everybody else, you will give up.
Yeah.
So 2 things you need to do.
Oh,
you marry that person, right?
You'll be cranky.
Yes. Yeah, you will just be angry for no reason. You won't even know why you're angry, right?
Yep.
So basically, you want to bring that person along, okay? You also want to empower them, okay? You want to empower that person. So how are you going to do that when you're just a woman? You don't know how to be a man, okay? I think it's a good idea to work on yourself. Because when you work on yourself, you attract the kind of man you deserve.
Yeah. So when you say work on yourself, now I'm speaking of, well, I work on myself. I don't understand what you mean.
All right. So just like you have to have patience with the woman, when you have to have patience with yourself. Okay. Working on yourself, it means 3 things for us. Okay. It means GPS, God, purpose, and self. When we say God, we're not talking about that physical being that's on that other planet somewhere. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the God inside of you, your higher self. Okay, understanding that the God in you, you need to understand there's something greater than physical in you that lives beyond your physical body, that the legacy continues long after you're long gone, right? Like, forget that you're long gone, even dead. God forbid. We're all going to die someday.
One day.
But I'm talking about even if you go to work, your spirit stays with people.
Right.
People remember how you make them feel, and a smile come on their face.
Yes.
Right? You need to work on that. That's number 1. Purpose, a personal purpose, something bigger than life, something that transcends your own personal life, meaning your work lives on, right? Something that you're extremely passionate about, right? Sometimes some people find it naturally. Okay. For me, it's teaching, coaching. I don't know if you can tell yet, but right. Can you tell?
Baby,
all right.
You've been a talker for forever.
I didn't say talker. I said teaching and coaching.
Baby, yes.
Right. So
you talk.
Yeah. So whatever that is for you, only you will know what that is. Something you enjoy doing that. Even if you don't get paid for it, you will do it.
You're happy with
But there's money in it. Don't be delusional. There's money in it. If you find someone to help you monetize it. However, even if you don't get paid doing it, you enjoy it, right? The third thing is self. Working at, those first 2 things has to be there for you to call it working on yourself, right? Working on yourself is self-confidence first, because we are attracted as human beings to self-confidence. Right. Like we want anything that other people have access to that we don't have access to. That's what we want. That's just human beings. Okay. So self-confidence make your spouse feel like, I don't want to lose her. I don't want to lose him. Right. You need to work on that if you're struggling with that. Self-confidence, self-worth. So this is your value to yourself, how you value yourself, how you value your time, how you value what you invest your energy in. If you argue a lot, you don't value your time. You just don't.
You have too much time.
You got too much energy to give into bullshit, really. Because most of your argument is nothing serious. Okay. When's the last time you saw somebody arguing about, or the argument started, well, you cheated? No, that's just a symptom. People bring that up if it happened, but the argument was not about that. Or you snored, so we're going to argue. When was the last time you saw somebody argue about that? Right? The argument is usually about petty stuff. That's because you don't value your time.
It's too much passion.
Yeah.
You have to put
your
that
passion
energy
is
into
in the
something
wrong
else.
Place.
Yeah.
Right? Self-worth, self-respect. Respect yourself. Respect yourself is all of that, right? So you don't engage in such an engagement type if you respect yourself. Like that person called you a name. Now you want to fight in the middle of the street. There's a good chance you don't respect yourself. Because you would have looked at that person with empathy and said, "Oh my shit,"
keep it moving,
and you just keep it moving.
So
if you value your time, and even if somebody comes and you're a punk, you look at that person that say you're a punk and say, "Oh my shit,"
yeah,
right? Because they don't see what you see.
Yeah,
self-worth, self-value, right? But especially where you invest your emotional energy, because that's really the big part that makes people suffer. That's what gives people depression. Like everything is, accurate. Everything is good. God is feeding you. Like, where does
so.
depression come from? Lack of gratitude, right? God is feeding you. You are healthy. Where does depression come from? You're not in the emergency room. If you're in an emergency room, would you have time for depression? No, you'd be busy taking care of the physical body or hoping that you go home.
Some people have clinical depression.
No, I know that. That's actually from the standpoint that I'm talking about. Okay, you need to have respect for psychological and emotional energy, part of what we call relationship. Relationship just don't. That's why you can't say right and wrong. That's math. It's not math. Okay, it's not. Oh, you were right, you were wrong. Okay, good. You were right.
What's
now what?
Next?
I still don't want to be with you.
Doesn't make anyone feel good.
I still don't want to make you feel good. I still hate your guts. How about that? Okay, I'm wrong. Okay, they don't have to say that, but the fact that they're arguing with you, they're wrong. Because if they value themselves, they wouldn't be arguing with you either. Right. So that's that. Let's see here. Let's go to.
What else do we have?
We have. We did that. Let's talk about Phaedra and Medina. Phaedra and Medina. What's going on with Medina in your opinion?
I don't know.
Medina just wants attention.
Medina. I like Medina.
He just wants the attention. He's not married
he's
to her.
He's just so cute to me.
He's not married to her. They've never had sex.
Yes.
And he's on a show called Marriage Bootcamp. And he's just like, I ain't just here.
He said he wants sex. He has not been able to,
Yeah, I don't think this guy is begging for sex.
I don't think
he just
so
wants the
either.
attention to be on the show.
I think he's on the show for attention. Yeah. I agree with you.
Phaedra, I said Phaedra. Is that what it's called? Phaedra, right? Phaedra is Phaedra also wants attention. She's jobless. Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
But that's beyond the topic. She has a real fear there. When you damage a woman, if they go through a bad experience, it goes with them. Doesn't mean you're wrong. I'm just saying the dynamics of the relationship you had with them will go with them. They will go attach it to other relationships, even their mother, even their daughter, even their own child, their own children, right?
She said she has trauma from a past relationship.
We all carry trauma.
So she has that fear.
Yeah.
Of and that's why she's not open to Medina.
She's not open. She's having a hard time open. So he's patient, and that's all it needs to be.
Yes.
It literally has to do nothing. Just patience, and for as long as you can. It's not obligated to be patient forever, but it's also getting money and it's getting attention, right? So he can just enjoy the ride. That's all you really need to do with a lady like this. She will bring it up at some point. She will want to have sex. We already talked about this one, so let's talk about this last one. Okay, so this is a show.
Did we talk about all the couples?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did. Okay,
we did.
Felt like we're missing. Okay, this is my
This is family of Fiancé. Of Fiancé.
Yeah.
Is that the right pronunciation of Fiancé?
Fiancé.
Okay, it's only Nigerian people that say Fiancé.
Well, it's only Nigerian people that say Fiancé.
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 Fiancé. It's Fiancé. He has apostrophe on it. That's Fiancé.
Fiancé.
Yeah.
Fiancé.
He has Ami on it. That's Fiancé.
Whatever, baby.
Okay.
I think it might be the British pronunciation.
Whatever. All right.
So attack my fellow
this
people.
This is Imani and I'm sorry, babe. Let me cut you out because I ran out of time.
Imani and what's this guy's name again?
Imani and Colby.
Colby, yes.
What's going on with this girl? Let's start with the girl. Interesting one. Okay. Interesting one. This Delina says obvious Taylor and Shanda love each other so much, but before they can work on their relation, they need to work on themselves individually to get to where they want to be. Taylor and Shanda. Do I remember those ones? No, that boy that was crying. Nah, he was not ready. Yeah, they're gonna have more trouble because not because it's crying. It's about the thing he was crying about. It was crying about his best friend.
Oh, you're talking about.
He was crying about his best friend, not
Willie.
No.
Wait, which one's Taylor?
Willie was the mama's boy. Taylor and Shanda I think Taylor is the DJ on a radio show somewhere. I forgot, but hopefully I remember. It's the guy that was crying because the wife is having a hard time accepting the best friend.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, we're talking about family of Fiancé.
Nika Jerome Leti, I think that's the one. Yeah. From the past season.
Oh, you meant Willie. She's talking about
Willie.
Yeah, she's talking about Willie.
Oh, because it was Willie and Shanda.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the mama's boy.
Yeah,
that one wasn't ready. Even the mama was reminded, like, dude, what's wrong with you? Remember the mother? By the
Maybe. I think she's talking about Shanda from the the marriage boot camp, right?
No. She's talking about family of fiance.
No,
That's
she's
where
not
Taylor,
talking about- she's
the
not
name
talking about-
Taylor came from.
She meant Willie. She corrected herself. She said, I meant Willie.
Willie and Shanda. Oh, okay. Good. That's making sense.
Okay.
They very similar
Listen to
names
your wife.
on past season. Very similar name on past season. Remember Shanda, Taylor, Willie also?
I don't
You
remember
don't
those
remember?
people anymore.
All
We
right.
moved on.
She said
This is
Willie.
true.
Yeah, you're right. Willie and Shanda. Let me remember what those were. Work on themselves. Well, they're married for 12 years.
They have a daughter.
So absolutely, you're right. Always work on themselves. All right. So this one's right here. We run out of time, unfortunately.
Wait, we ran
But
out
we
of
can-
time?
Yeah.
Oh, 7 o'clock. Yes.
Yeah, let's take 5 minutes on this one right here. By the way, I would like to recognize anybody that's still hanging out with us. Please post something, your name or something like that. Thank you so much, and don't forget to have the thumbs up before you leave. So, what's wrong with this girl, in your opinion?
Well, this girl, I want to say she's young, but I still think that has nothing to do with having a healthy self-esteem. She has no self-esteem. Her self-esteem is low.
So this dude, let me help you real
She
quick.
wants to be accepted.
Let me help you real quick. Shefumi, thanks for hanging out.
Hi, Shefumi.
So let me tell you something real quick. This guy, when they were dating, said this girl will get 2 more points
if she
fixes her teeth.
Yep.
If she gets some braces. And then he didn't see anything wrong with it.
No, okay.
That's the worst part.
You have to explain properly. So these people met on a dating app called Bumblebee.
Jesus Christ.
Right? And on their second date.
Thanks, bro. Tunde, for hanging out.
Thank you, Uncle Tunde. On the second date, this guy told her she would score 2 more points if she fixed her teeth.
Jesus.
And before you knew it, she went to get braces.
Yep. But the worst part is that he's still controlling.
Very controlling.
He doesn't see that he's controlling.
Oh my God.
Sometimes he stares at her in the eyes like he's listening, but he's not. He has an idea of what he's about to say already. He's not really listening. Now, he's getting into altercations with this girl's sister.
And mother.
And the mother, because that's what it's about. You want to choose a fiance or you want to fix. This whole family and fiance is a real thing. In-laws issues.
Yes.
It's a real thing everywhere. But this guy came with a defense thing, like he's ready to fight anybody.
He doesn't care if they accept him or not. All he needs is the girl. That's it.
I just tell you what's gonna happen to them if he doesn't change. Okay, the girl is just a girl.
And you didn't mention that they're haters, which is a big deal for the family.
Well, the reason why it's a big deal, the fact that they're atheists. Why is it a big deal?
Because he influenced her to become an atheist.
That's
At
not
least
why.
that's what the family.
That's what they're saying.
That's what the family feels.
So this is a good lesson because the family sometimes will say things out of their mouth. They think they know what's going on. They don't. They also don't. They're just human beings too, right? The real issue is they feel the need to explain themselves. Okay, they're seeking permissions to be atheist. Okay, I don't need to explain what atheists mean to you if I chose to be an atheist. Okay, especially when we're talking about me getting married to somebody that has nothing to do with nothing. If they bring it up, like that has nothing to do with nothing. This is my choice.
So when they asked, he actually is the grandchild of a bishop. His parents are also preachers.
He was supposed to be a minister too.
So and he's supposed to be a minister,
and he knows the Bible.
But some things didn't make sense to him in the Bible anymore, and then it changed, particularly about slavery and why slaves had to beg God that would let them be slaves, something like that. So he changed into a hatist. Now when the parents asked the lady why she's now a hatist, she said they asked her, would she have turned into an atheist without him? She said, no, I have no reason to question religion. I just have no reason. But since she's been with him, whatever they talk about, it made sense, and she changed. That's what she said.
She wasn't. I didn't feel like she was as
she said that.
She wasn't as.
She said she never had a reason. She wasn't as expressive. Religion. She said, religion is what it is.
She didn't have a strong opinion on it because clearly she didn't. Because if she was strong on religion, reality, no man can come and change her. So that's just hard.
Clearly that's
it's just hard, right?
Yeah,
that's what I mean by. Reality is that
but
the reason why that becomes
it's not just about the religion. It's about somebody coming here.
Go ahead.
No, It's somebody about telling you how you should look and their approval on how you should be as a human being. I don't have a problem with the religion aspect. I do, however, have a problem with the way he tells her how to do things. Like you telling a woman, if she changed her teeth, she will have 2 points higher. And they asked him, if she hadn't changed her teeth, gotten braces, would you be with her? He said no.
The main issue with this guy, the main issue is that he speaks one language.
Which is blunt.
Blunt.
And I have a problem with blunt language.
People that speak blunt,
I'm sorry,
often don't approach things with wisdom. Okay. And that's coming from somebody who would, probably a long time ago, I would probably claim I a straight shooter. It's bullshit. You're not a straight shooter, you're rude. If you're a straight shooter. And if you're admitting it, and you find yourself often you have to find yourself saying, I'm just a straight shooter. No.
Or they'll say, I'm a realist. No, you don't have to be offensive as a realist, a straight shooter, or blunt speaker.
Yeah, you're just offensive.
You just want to
insult
people.
And that's what this guy's problem ultimately is.
Yeah,
because and he doesn't see it, that makes it worse. Okay, he doesn't see because
he doesn't see and also don't want to listen.
Yeah.
Okay, people keep telling you the way you
when he was, you see how his eyes is calm right here.
Yeah.
When camera was facing his and was explaining the atheist thing, it was the same. It was the same way he explained why he's not wrong with the way he handled his girl and the girl's family. It was like
he was bulging, like something's about to happen.
And I'm like, okay, guy, calm down. Like seriously, you do me. Because
it's an interesting show.
That's just, and even his siblings were even saying that that's just him. All right, dude, you're
not helping him.
You're doing grown folks' business, meaning trying to be in a relationship, and when you're in a relationship with the girl, you have to be and you're going to marry that girl. You have to be in a relationship with the girl's family,
and she wants her family to be involved.
Yes,
she wants that relationship.
Because every girl wants that. Every girl wants that, and you have a family that's all hands opening. Right. And they're there trying to actually help him, and you're still rude. You're just rude.
That's wrong.
That's just what you are. So that's what I meant by it has nothing to do with religion. That become an issue because they keep feeling the need to explain themselves. Yeah. But that's not really the issues right here. All right.
The issue is how he's treating her.
Yeah. So let's take one last comment. The girl should run because since he finds something wrong with her physical appearance, he will definitely find something wrong with everything else.
I agree.
Word. Absolutely. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you so much, Yinka, Batunde, Shefumi, and everybody else that you haven't told us who you are. Thank you anyway for hanging out. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, okay? And if you know what church I go to, I'm running to the church right now because I have to play for a concert tonight. We're live streaming from the church, and that's why I was
I'll be watching.
That's why I was kind of being particular about time over there. We'll be back here next week. That show is on every week right now, so we may just, unless we have a guest, we'll try to do a guest 1 hour or somebody. We'll try to find it, but right now we're just gonna watch the shows. We're kind of promoting it, but we don't get paid for that. But it's okay. We get to teach some lessons, or we get to learn. More importantly, we're going to learn.
Yeah.
And you get to hang out with us in our own little therapy sessions here.
Yes, so therapy.
Yeah, all right. So it's a lot of fun. You can follow us everywhere at Lola and Ola, everywhere, literally. So feel free, and we'll see if we can have some more videos during the week. Thank you so much. You have anything else? You good?
Thank you, guys. That's all I can say. Take care.
Peace.
Okay, babe.
All right.